Hi, Daniel Thomas Andrew Daly here. Torah Prophecies Revisited 12. Right, now in relation to Ezekiel 37, that's the spiritually dead of Israel. It's not the literal, not the literal dead who are raised from the dead, it's spiritual dead, but, Israel, the house of Israel saying, our hope is vanished. So that's not a resurrection chapter. Just a resurrection of the spirits and the hopes. And I've noticed they have to return to Israel. So when the everlasting kingdom comes in, and it's probably happened a while ago, it probably is the Maccabean period when it started, and the kingdom of Israel rules the nations serve it. According to Isaiah, they're like the Gentiles and the nations serve it, and nations have to learn, the Goyim, the Gentiles have to learn the ways of the Torah. Eventually, though, they have to accept Torah and go offer sacrifices as those 56 teachers. And because they have to sacrifice in Jerusalem, in the end, you can only enter Jerusalem if you're circumcised, which is the teaching of the prophets. So eventually they're converts to Judaism. Because they're converts to Judaism, eventually they have to live in Israel. Now, that's the destiny of the church who remain faithful to Jesus. Because he's not really the Christ, it's just eventually the church is, as Isaiah says, they take the riches of the nations, because the church, the surviving church, or members of the church, convert to Judaism in the long term in the heavenly world to come. The everlasting kingdom as its main authority, and they convert to that. So the riches of the nations go into Israel, because the church people take their assets and they move to Israel. That's where you'll end up. Now that covenant goes on, that rights of Israel to establish that and to be the light of Gentiles goes on for 1,000 generations, because the Ten Commandments, the Decalogue in Exodus 20 says God keeps his faith with the people for 1,000 generations. Noah's covenants are everlasting, but faith with Israel and their covenant is 1,000 generations. We've done about 150 generations since the time of Moses, but it's kept for 1,000 generations of those who love him and keep his commandments. And then it's finished. So this is about the 150th generation now. Now mankind has a legal Karite Noah, which is me. Some people are considering getting legal. But I will have seed most likely, and gradually, as the generations come and go and we reach towards 1,000, the blessings of Israel diminish, and the return to Israel, and that's where they serve God. In Israel, and Noah takes over. So this is, the everlasting kingdom's eternal, but the actual authority of Israel is only for 1,000 generations, by which time the Noahide nations themselves are serving God on their own terms, with Noahide law. They become a community of God in the kingdom, but it's Noahides who've replaced the church who've gone to Israel, and we serve on the Torah of Noah, the Rainbow Torah, serving God. Now it's either Samuel Chronicles or Kings, Samuel or Chronicles I think it is, talks about how they've rejected me as the Lord as king and chosen a human king. And that's what Israel's always done. So God's pandered to them, and he's pandered to them for a while, but in the end the kingdoms of the mankind will actually serve God and not any earthly authority. We serve Almighty God, because we didn't reject the Lord as king. Whereas Daniel the prophet and King David and those people rejected the Lord as king and established their own hierarchies. That was honoured for a while, as the Lord said, make him the king, and this is what you'll do for the king. But ultimately, no, it doesn't work like that. Not in the eternal end of it all. You serve God as king. And while the kingdom of Israel will function forever as Israel, serving God, they get over their idolatry towards human authorities. They serve God Almighty. So, it's 1,000 generations, and then that's about it. Torah Prophecies Revisited 12.